Hello everyone, it's me again, Benzo Jaji, and I'm here to report on the first play being made by William Shakespeare entitled Love's Lost. Love's Labor's Lost was a play by Shakespeare written in the mid 1500s, in which there was no definite year in which the uh, Labor's Love's Lost was written, since there was a huge gap, there was a huge difference in the term written and published, in which the year in which the play was published was around in the year 1589-ish. It still doesn't answer the question on when was it exactly being written. Love's Labor's Lost was a play in a form of romance comedy, in which the flow of the play was being centered on both the romantic and the comedy side of the play. I have the Love's Labor's Lost characters, in which we have Ferdinand, which is the king of the Var, Biron, Longueville, Domaine, Princess of France, Rosaline, Maria, Catherine. We also have Boyet, Don Adriano de Arnado, Mot, Costard, or Costarde, and Jaqueneta, and Sir Nathaniel of Holofernes. We have Dol and Mercade. Love's Labor's Lost summary. The King of the Var and his three lords, Biron, Longueville, and Domaine, swear an oath to scholarship, which includes fasting and avoiding contact in women. So, this oath makes them to avoid contact with any women. In short, they're being abstinent for 3 years. So, just imagine four men, three lords and a king, swore an oath that they will be abstinent, or they will abstain themselves in interacting or having a romantic relationship with women for 3 years. So that's kind of hard, and that's where the comedic side of this story comes. They received a letter from Don Adriano Armando, a Spaniard visiting the king's court, telling them that he has caught Costard, a fool, and Jaqueneta, a country wench, consorting in the park. The king announced Costard's sentence, and he and the lords go off to begin their oath. Don Armado confessed to Maud, his page, that he has fallen in love with Jaqueneta. So, this is kind of tragic for Don Armado, since he himself bore witness to Jaqueneta's affair with Costard. He writes here a letter that he asked Costard to deliver. Meanwhile, the Princess of France has arrived to visit the king. And this Princess of France has 3 escorts, which will be introduced later on in the summary. Biron gives Costard a letter to deliver to Rosaline. Rosaline is another escort of the Princess of France. But Costard accidentally switches it with the letter from Don Armado to Jaqueneta. So, to sum it all up, Biron's letter to Rosaline was given to Jaqueneta, while Don Armado's letter was given to Rosaline. When he gives Biron's letter to Jaqueneta, she brings it to the learned Holofernes and Sir Nathaniel to read it for her. They tell her that the letter was meant for someone else and to deliver it to the king. So, this is where the whole the whole scene turned to chaos because, as I said earlier, they swore an oath to be abstained from interacting with women, and this includes sending letters to women. Baron watches the king from a hiding spot as he reads about his letter for the princess. So, this is another laughing part of the story because the king himself sends his letters to the princess. Longueville enters and the king hides as well. He and Baron observe Longueville reading for his love for Maria. Maria is in fact uh, another escort of the Princess of France. Dumaine enters, Longueville hides, and all three see Dumaine reading an ode he has written to Catherine. Catherine is the last and final uh, escort of the Princess of France. Longueville advances and tells Dumaine that he is not alone in love. The king then advances and scolds two men for breaking their oath. Biron advances and reveals that the king is in love as well to the Princess of France, since it was Biron who saw first the king, in which that scenario was the king reading his own letter for the Princess of France. Jaquenetta arrives and she gives Baron the letter, which was mistakenly given to her by Costard. Baron rips up the letter because in this scene only Baron was not caught in love, in which since Baron was the first witness who saw the king, and then the king saw another of his escort reading a letter, and another escort arrived then and read the oath. So Baron was the only one who was not yet caught with the letter. However, Dumaine picks up a piece of the letter with Baron's name on it, and Baron confesses that he is in love as well. So they all are caught in this part of the scenarios. And Baron confesses that the four men decided to court their women. The king and his lords arrived at the princess's pavilion dressed as Muscovites. As if there is someone who doesn't know about this, Muscovites are the ones at the party who are wearing masks in order to hide their presence. The women heed Boyette's prior warnings and decide to switch favors so that the women will mistake them for each other. So the women also had their own way to prank the men in order for the men to mistake one after another. They all watched the show of the Nine Worthies, performed by Don Almada, Sir Nathaniel, and Holofernes the Gnome. A messenger arrives to tell the princess that her father has died, and she prepares to return to France. The women tell their suitors to seek them again in a year, and the play ends with their departure. So, this play indeed ended in a cliffhanger, wherein the a messenger arrived at the party telling the princess that her father passed away. So that's where the play definitely ends. So in my analysis, Love's Labor's Lost is indeed a comedy about young love with an unexpected and unsettling ending. This is relatively common in various plays in which there are, what do you call that? There are cliffhangers in which the play will be making the audiences feel beaten. The title could suggest that either the labor of love is lost or the lost labors of love. Since I could definitely agree with this statement, since I was the one who made it, that the labor of their love or their efforts were in vain because of, in that specific scenarios of the play, because of the messenger, in which the messenger told the princess about her father passing away. So all their effort that time wait will be waiting a year in order to bear fruit, in which it will be proper to call it lost labors of love. And that would be all for my report. Thank you so much, and God bless us all.